I'm Shannon Ogden with your Denver 7 Now update. President's Day weekend is upon us, and that means tens of thousands of people heading to the high country. The weather should be fine going up, coming back down, maybe not so much. Chief Meteorologist Mike Nelson has an eye on the conditions, and we have more snow on the way, Mike.
There's a winter storm watch already in effect for the mountains for Sunday into Monday. From Crested Butte to Aspen all the way up towards Steamboat for a foot or more of snow. Now ahead of that, we had a fairly mild day on Friday. Hit the mid-50s in the Denver area and low 60s down in southeast Colorado. That's going to change a little bit. Here's our next storm system off to the northwest. We had a front come through today that brought us some milder air, but now cold front's going to come in by morning with colder air, but the main storm is still off to the north and west of us. So by early in the day, a few flurries possible in the mountains, otherwise just some high clouds with the passage of that cold front. Lows drop to the teens and 20s across most of the state. We'll start mostly clear on the plains, a few flurries in the mountains, and those flurries may continue again in the afternoon and evening on Saturday in the high country. Rest of the state stays mostly clear. Not as warm, highs 30s and 40s across most of Colorado. Then things start to change a little bit. After a fairly dry start to the weekend, the snow increases on Sunday in the high country, becomes heavy, continues into Monday, and then by Monday afternoon, Tuesday morning, we see snow and colder weather for Denver as well. So 7-day forecast, 43 Saturday, 50 on Sunday, and then back to the 30s Monday and Tuesday with a few inches of snow, clearing Wednesday and back to the 50s Thursday and Friday.
All right, thank you, Mike. Just a short time ago, Denver Mayor Michael Hancock announced he will veto a bill that would have repealed the ban on pit bulls. The mayor says he appreciates and understands the passion behind bringing back the breed. Ultimately, though, he says he still believes lifting the ban could put more homes and neighborhoods at risk.
All dogs bite. All dogs could potentially attack, but there is a breed of dog, and I believe in this. Suspected pit bull breeds have a greater impact in their attacks. And reading letters and information from pediatricians, emergency room physicians were very compelling to me.
Council does not appear to have the votes to overturn the veto. Realizing this, the bill's sponsor now plans to get the ban repeal on the November ballot. New details tonight into the allegations that have put the University of Northern Colorado's Greek program on notice. Documents obtained by Denver 7 show Greeley police have been called out to fraternity and sorority houses nearly 300 times over the last 7 years. And those are just the current ones. We're not even counting the 2 fraternities already kicked off campus for unacceptable behavior. Now, most of the time, police were checking out reports of loud parties or loud music, but at least on 3 occasions, they were investigating rape and sexual assault. The university's own records actually go further. They tell us just since 2018, there have been 13 reports of sexual misconduct. UNC declined to provide details. Well, she fell in love with a strapping Army vet with a heart of gold. She fell out of love with a stranger. Denver 7's Russell Haythorne has the anti-Valentine's Day story.
First came the online contact.
He saw my picture on Facebook and he was attracted to it.
Things progressed quickly from there.
He wanted to meet me. He wanted us to be together.
We'll call her Jill out of respect for her privacy. Jill was divorced, living in Metro Denver and looking for a new relationship. So was the man on the other end, or so it seemed.
He had nobody else. He had lost his wife to cancer 3 years ago.
That was the first of hundreds of lies the scammer would tell Jill. This is the man he pretended to be, said he was a 4-star general in the Army named David Hill, ready to come home and retire.
He had been in the military over in Afghanistan for years.
He also sent Jill this photo.
He had a daughter in California. She and I had communicated several times. She was already calling me mom.
The two were texting and emailing, so you received the iTunes card. Your dad and I stay in contact every day. Jill believed the relationship was going somewhere. She and David started having more and more private chats in Google Hangout.
Being lonely, I guess I just got deeper and deeper into text communicating.
He even sent her a Christmas ornament with his photo in it. Jill was all in, and when David, the 4-star general with that extra E in his name, asked for money, Jill had blind faith he was telling the truth.
He just talked about wanting to get back to the States and that kind of thing.
And texts like this, I need just $600 from you now. Then he asked for more and more. She sent dozens of iTunes gift cards and cashier's checks.
I fell for it. I went for it.
In return, he was promising Jill a literal treasure trove, a box he found overseas.
$400,000 that he and another officer had found supposedly on one of their missions.
But the box kept getting stopped in transit, incurring fees in other countries.
Because supposedly it went from Afghanistan to Indonesia or other foreign countries, and every country they entered had tariffs and this kind of thing that had to be paid to ship it further. I kept thinking that eventually it might actually get to me and I would be repaid.
There were obvious red flags.
His grammar, for one thing.
Eventually, that fake package made it to Wyoming.
They still wanted another $9,000, and that is the point that I refused, and he got furious, and eventually he cut off communications.
Jill had reached her breaking point. She had lost over $42,000.
He just got pissed. He started talking ugly.
Part of the reason we've disguised her identity is because she hasn't even told her own family.
I'm embarrassed. I lost a lot. I wish that we could catch these thieves.
It turns out this is a real photo of a David Hill, a brigadier general in the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers. And that daughter photo is a former contestant on America's Got Talent, Anna Graceman. Just another falsehood in the con man's elaborate story.
I know, and I was so stupid to fall for it.
She now wants others to learn from her mistake.
You really need to meet a person in person before you can really have a relationship of any kind. And I should have known better.
Russell Haythorne, Denver 7.
Very sad. I appreciate you watching this Denver 7 Now update. Make sure to download the Denver 7 app for your smartphone. It gives you breaking news and alerts around the clock. I'm Shannon Ogden.